Okay, so great. We're back again, and hello everybody in virtual Facebook Live land, and hello to the students we have here in the class. And I'm Jessica Lewis, and I am the founder of a company called Sculpt Your Life, and you can find out a lot more about me if you just Google me. Just Google Jessica Lewis or Sculpt Your Life, any way you want to spell it, I'm going to pop right up. I'll try to remember to share the actual domain address at the end of the class today. But so we're here again today, as we are pretty much every other week at the Cancer Support Community, to explore just one of the three major aspects of my work, which is a beautiful Tai Chi practice called Tai Chi Cha. That third little word is pronounced cha, like chuck wagon. I love food metaphors because I'm also a certified nutritional counselor. But if you translate the phrase Tai Chi Cha into English from Chinese, what you get is knowledge of the supreme ultimate. So you can tell right there that this is an exploration of a Tai Chi practice that actually is nothing other than a moving mindfulness practice. It's been qualified by some of our most well-respected medical authorities as nothing other than mindfulness in motion. Unlike all the other Tai Chi practices, actually, which all seem to have, which all seem to have, we have another student, some martial application. So, let's go ahead and get down to business with Tai Chi Cha. You know, people ask me all the time, Jessica, why do you always dress in black? You look like Johnny Cash. And I'm going to give you a secret. Mostly it's because I have white hair and it's a good contrast, but also it's because I often think of myself as sort of a ninja mindfulness instructor. I like to kind of sneak it in. And Tai Chi Cha is a great way to get a sense of how to do mindfulness while you're in motion without really sitting down to do the thing. I don't know about all of you guys here in the room or out there in Facebook Live land, but I became interested in mindfulness as a young person, like as a teenager. But every time I sat down to do the thing, it was like I gave the monkey in my head permission to run amok. And I would have a very unpleasant experience. But when I discovered Tai Chi Cha, it suddenly opened up a whole bunch of doors for me. So here's how we're going to ninja mindfulness ourselves today. We're going to talk about grounding. In the, hello, we have, hi, how are you? We have even more students coming in. So just find a place that's comfortable for you. Yeah. Do you feel comfortable standing or seated? Okay. Now, if you go over there, you might be on camera. So if you don't want to, that's okay with me. That's fine. Or Bob can move over a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Good. We're good. Okay. And if you need a chair, it's right behind you. Okay. All right. So back to the whole grounding thing. That's what we were going to explore today. In the medical field that I generally do most of my work in, which could be technically described as complementary and integrative healthcare, there's a big catchphrase these days, grounding, or you could call it earthing, right? And it's actually pretty sound medical theory. Here's what it is. The earth is like a big, big battery. It's really full of energy. And indigenous people knew that just walking on the earth was kind of like plugging yourself into the battery and recharging yourself. So today, more than anything, we're going to focus on feeling our feet touching the ground in between the movements. And actually, while we're doing the movements too, we're going to feel the weight in the feet move from one portion of one foot into another portion of another foot and back again. And by doing that, we're going to be tricking ourselves into doing mindfulness. We're going to be ninja mindfulness practitioners. So if you feel comfortable taking your shoes off, because the other thing in this country, shoes are like a big business, and especially for women. Now it looks like you have almost barefoot shoes shoes, which is awesome. But a lot of women have shoes with a heel because guess what? Guys mostly design women's shoes, right? And it makes the female leg look kind of good. So we often not only have a heel that kind of puts our weight more in the front of the foot, but most of us, unless you live in Italy and have these beautiful handmade Italian shoes, have rubber soles. So you're literally incapable of plugging into the Earth's battery when you're wearing rubber soled shoes. So I'm going to take my shoes off today. I hardly ever do that when I'm on screen, but I'm going to do that. And one of the distinctions of Tai Chi Chuan versus other Tai Chi practices, I didn't even ask you if you had any Tai Chi experience. Have you ever experienced Tai Chi before? Ever practiced it at all? Okay. Okay, that's cool. So you're a blank slate, which is good. Tabula rasa, which is great. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our own unique rest positions. I'm going to grab a chair too. This is perfect. Thank you for being my wingman over here, Carol. And I'll show you what the rest position is if you're seated. So put your feet in sort of a V shape that you enjoy. You don't have to stand up if you don't want to. Yeah, yeah. Put your feet in sort of a V shape that feels good to you, right? And now here's the magic right here for how to really feel your feet touching the floor. This is the way I normally stand. My chiropractor probably wouldn't like it if she saw me doing this, but this is how I normally roll. So now what I want you to do today, rather than locking your knees, either in the front or the back, which is what most people do, is just let your tailbone kind of tuck under a little bit. And for me, when that occurs, my knees sort of slide slightly forward. And this is the really important point I'm about to make. Suddenly, I feel my weight spreading all the way out to the outer margins of both my feet. Do all of you feel that? Good. That's really the most important thing. So just take a moment to feel your feet 100% in contact with the floor or whatever firm surface they happen to be resting against if you have your shoes on, for instance. Let's just take a moment to feel your feet. Good. Touching the floor. And then the only other part of this rest position we haven't gone over yet is the hands. We want to give them something to do. So just notice the sensations of your upper arms hanging down from the shoulders. That should be effortless, right? Tai Chi Chuan is the effort of no effort, we say. It's the best way to do it. And then all you got to do is lift the fingers. Yeah. You can even imagine that there's a puppeteer up there and he attached strings to your fingers and he just did that, right? So it's as if your palms and fingertips are now resting on sort of a very firm, horizontal, invisible surface. And there's a little softness in the elbows too, kind of like the knees. So let's just go ahead and and if you're seated, this is the rest position. It's very easy. So actually, your hands, when you're standing, are kind of in the same place they would be in if you were seated. And just imagine they're resting on your legs, if you like. So now while we're in this position, let's just go ahead and take a few moments to really check in with the inner landscape and pick a spot to focus your attention on. I always say it's a good idea to sort of pick a spot somewhere between your belly button and the floor. This part isn't actually Tai Chi Chuan, but I always like to do it at the beginning and the end of my classes. And as the Buddhists would say, we're going to call the bell. So all we're going to do is I'm going to ring the bell, and your whole job until I call you back is just to notice mentally some aspect of your insides that you would normally not pay any attention to. And if your mind wanders, try not to judge yourself, because that's what the human mind does. And let's get going. Here we go. Go ahead and bring your attention back to the classroom if it has gone anywhere. So that's the first way I usually sneak the mindfulness into my class. I'm going to do it at the end of the class too, because sometimes it's a good way to gauge whether or not you relaxed. You know? So, in deference to the fact that I have a couple of people in the room that are somewhat familiar with Tai Chi Cha, and because I'm attempting to focus on all of us feeling the soles of our feet as much as we can today, I'm just going to start at the beginning of the practice and kind of roll through. All right. Now, here's the thing: there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Cha. There's no Tai Chi Cha police. No one ever comes and takes you away if you make a mistake. I know that for sure because I make mistakes all the time and I'm still here, right? So, and since I'm facing all of you in the Facebook world, I'm going to mirror. So if I move this leg, although it is my right leg, you may want to move your left leg, but if you get your lefts and rights confused, it's okay. Right? And I know I'm an over talker, so mostly I just want you to feel your feet touching the floor, and that's mostly how I'm going to coach this today. Okay? And we're going to begin and end each one of the movements from this position. This is what we call the rest position. So let's get going with rocking motion. We're going to let this leg kind of flow out to the side as easily as we can. We just had to drift away from it and let it just get out there. And now we're going to let the weight kind of flow to the back, and that's as easy as letting the knees lengthen and move backwards and put the hands back here. And we're just going to let it flow to the front and flow to the back. Now I want you to not even worry for 1 minute about anything that's going on from the belly button up. See if you can feel the weight in your feet shifting all the way to the heels, and then just lengthen your knees. And all the way to the toes and lengthen your knees. And you know what? How often in life do you really stop and feel your feet touching the ground? So if that's all you get out of this hour-long class today, you're still going to be way ahead of the Gen Pop when you go back out into your real life. How to feel your feet touching the floor and feeling your weight shifting across them. I'm going to face forward again. We're going to do 2 more. We generally only do 9 of each of the movements, but I'm not a great counter. And the next one is going to be the one that we end on. Would you like a chair, Bob? Would you like a chair? No. Okay. He's taking off his shoes. Good idea. Feel your feet touching the floor. Again, we're simply feeling the feet touching the floor. And by doing so, you're improving your health whether you know it or not, right? Let's do bird flaps and swings. You're just going to put the hands close together down here. Yeah. And now all we're going to do, I'm going to turn a little sideways again so some of our newer people can see what I'm talking about more easily. We're going to let the weight shift from the hole of the foot to the front of the foot, and the heels are going to magically just sort of peel off the floor. Here we go. And you don't even need to do the arm gestures if you don't want to, but they do kind of flip out there like tiny little bird wings when we sing. Now we're going to draw a little circle in the air. Yeah, and back up, and down. And here we go. And remember, we're using the effort of no effort at all. So all you gotta do is let your weight shift. Just let the weight shift. Yeah. And here comes the circle. Nice. Let's do one more set. Each set has 3 little parts. If you add all them together, that comes to 9. Here comes the circle. And now we're just going to float back down to rest. Just feel your feet touching the ground. Feel it. And now we're going to do around the platter. We want this leg, which is probably your left leg, to get farther out than your right. So what's the easiest way to do that? It's actually super easy. Just let your tailbone tuck a little bit more and you'll naturally sink. Then shift all your weight away from the leg you want to extend. Now all you got to do is lengthen this empty knee. Yeah, and the heel just drops down wherever it wants to be. And put your hands near your heart. We're going to pretend there's a big round plate out in front of your heart. It's like I have a little ball of energy underneath each hand and the balls are on the plate. And we're going to go around the platter. It's like a turkey serving platter from Thanksgiving. Out over the leg that's sticking out and back over the leg in the back. Good. So now you're really starting to get a sense of the way to get the effort of no effort without trying too hard is to move slowly and smoothly and as circularly as you can manage. Yeah, just let your hands keep moving in a circle. Good. We're actually going to do just one more of this in deference to time. And when all the weight gets back in your back foot, just stand up on it. Yeah, that was easy, right? That's an easy way to land. My earbud is falling out, my earbud. Now let's do the other side. So let your tailbone tuck. Let all of your weight shift away from the leg you want to extend. Then just extend your empty knee. And here we go. We'll do 6 on this side too. I don't know if I did 6 on the other side, but that was my goal. Let's go ridiculously slow. See if you feel the weight in your whole back foot. And then just the ball of the back foot and the whole front foot. See if you feel it shifting. Nice. All right. Let's do one more. And when all the weight lands in your back foot again, just stand up on it. Yeah, soft landings. You should see these. This is wonderful. Let's let your left leg flow out there again, okay? We're going to let the tailbone tuck. We're going to shift as far away from the left leg as we can, and we're going to extend the left knee, yeah. Hands to the back of the platter again. We're going to do a slight variation on the move we just did. Here it is, right there. That's the variation. And then it's gone. So just in front of the shoulder on the same side of the body is the leg that's sticking out. The fingers lift, yes. And it's like you're just moving a ball up to the front of the platter and then it just drops off the plate. Yeah. Let's do 2 more. Here's our last one. Feel all the weight draining back into your back foot. Yes. By George, I think they're getting it. Let your tailbone tuck. Let all of your weight flow into your right leg, your left leg, so your right leg can extend. When I mirror, I get my lefts and rights confused sometimes. And here we go. Here's the variation, and then it's gone. And there it is again, and then it's gone. Kind of like troubles in life. They come and they go. I have a teacher who always says, Tai Chi Cha is a great practice for the practice of life. And she is absolutely right. Let's do one more and wait till all the weight gets back in that back foot. Taking a moment to feel both your feet touching the ground. And let's let the left foot get out there again. Here we go. Let's do it in pieces, but soft and smooth pieces. Tailbone tucking, shifting, extending. Yeah, and we're going to put the hands up here. It's as if you have a marching band bass drum strapped to your shoulders. And we're going to let the fingers flow around the outside edge. Here we go. Yes. Good. So why are we focusing so much on the soles of the feet? Not to get all Buddhist on you, but you know, Buddha always used to say, he who can remain in the soles of his feet will be a happy man. But it's also true that energy follows thought. So the more time every day you can spend thinking about your feet, the less your head will be in your head. Let's do two more. And then just stand up on that leg. Yes, they're getting it. Taking a moment to feel your body outwardly at rest. And then let's let the left leg get out there, right leg. Let your tailbone tuck. Do this in pieces. Let your weight shift. Yes, exactly. Here we go. Good. Now, in many ways, Tai Chi Chuan is kind of like walking in slow-mo. You know how you're supposed to put all your weight in one foot before you extend the other knee? Ooh, don't lose your balance. Yeah, I'm going to face this person for a minute. Make sure that there's enough space between your feet that you don't feel like you're on a tightrope. There we go. It can get a little unnerving if it starts to be like that. That's okay. Let's do one more. If you like, we can do one or two of the movements in the chair and you'll see how easy it is to adapt. Would you like to do that? Okay. Okay. It's fine. There's very little adaptation needs to be made when you're sitting in a chair. Same movements. They just get a little smaller. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll do one side of the next movement standing. I'll do the other side seated, and you can do whatever you like. Let's do daughter on the mountaintop. Okay. We're going to let the tailbone tuck. We're going to let all the weight shift into the right leg before we extend the empty left leg. And we're just going to turn the palms over. Good. So as we flow forward, the hands come up. It's like they're going to clap, but then they miss each other. So they're still in clapping position up here. It's just that the backs of them are facing each other rather than the fronts of them. Yes. Awesome. We're going to do one more. And taking a moment to feel the feet touching the ground. Good. I'm going to coach the next one. Seated. If you're standing, you don't have to sit down, but I'm going to show you the correlations. Okay. If you're seated, think of your sit bones as the soles of your feet. Feel them touching the chair. Okay. If you're standing, I want you to put your right foot out there. You already know how to do it. And as a seated person, I'm just going to put my right foot out there like an inch or so. It's like a metaphor. Okay. And all we're going to do is turn over the hands. And now, have you ever sat on an exercise ball? You know what it feels like to roll forward and back, right? So this is going to be like that, only smaller and way less dangerous. Because curvy things roll very easily on flat things, right? That's how come we can roll on an exercise ball. So you're going to let your curvy sit bones just sort of roll gently forward and roll gently back. You're going to feel a whole expansion, contraction thing going on in your upper body, right? And let's all do it together. Here we go. Hands curl up to the top of the mountain. Roll back down. As you flow forward, it sends the hands up. As you flow back, it brings them down. It's very easy. The only difference between the standing and seated versions is the hand gestures get a little smaller because there's less space between your legs and your chin when you're sitting down. Let's do one more. And then we're all going to flow back to our own respective rest positions. Just take a moment to feel your body at rest. And let's do the next movement. I'll do it standing, since you prefer to be standing. Daughter in the valley with your left leg out first. Here we go. Yes. Here we go. I have another really great teacher named Dan who always says to set up the movements by using an acronym, SSHH. I'll tell you more about it when we do the other side. Very nice. Right. Here's our last one. And flow back to rest. Take a moment to feel both your feet touching the ground. All right, so let's use SSHH. It's a great acronym. Okay. Sink, which just means letting the tailbone tuck. Shift. H, heel. Hands. Almost all the movements can be begun that way. Okay, here we go. It's like you're scooping up something yummy down here and you're bringing it up to your lips. That's what's going on. You feel it? Or mostly just feel your weight shifting from the whole of the back foot to the whole of the front foot with just a smidge of front heel and then front left toe, rear toe. Let's do one more. And then both your feet are going to be on the ground. Feel them on the ground. All right, let's do carry the ball to the side. We're going to use the same acronym, SSHH, okay? Let your tailbone tuck. That's the sink. Shift all the way into your right. Now we're going to do one little extra thing. We're going to let the whole upper body rotate a little bit to your right also. All right, and now we're going to let the empty heel just sort of sneak out to the side and put the hands. And now we're going to flow. Let all the weight flow into your left leg and then back to your right leg. I could get really picayune about how to do this, but I think today I just want you to feel your feet touching the floor. Here's the third one. So we're going to stand up on this full leg. Indeed, you got it. Now, in the interest of space, we're going to go back the way we came so you don't step out of that door completely. Okay, let's use the acronym. Sink, that's letting the tailbone tuck. Shift. Let your upper body rotate that way as well. And then place the hands, and then place the heel. And here we go. We're going back the way we came. You feel the weight shift pulling the hands along for the ride. Float up and float back down again. Good. I'm going to turn around so we're all going the same direction, and that way I don't have to mirror. Okay? So follow me if you can. Let your tailbone tuck sink. Shift. Let your upper body rotate. You can place your heel out now if you like, and then place the hands. And here we go. Oh, I have the most extraordinary view of the butterfly bushes out there now. I'm glad I turned around. You never know what you're missing. And then when all your weight gets into this left leg, just stand up on it. Feel your feet touching the ground. Now let's go back the way we came. Sink, shift, rotate, heel, hands, flow. Remember, there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Cha. It's all good, and it gets gooder. Just stand up on the full leg and rest. Feel your feet touching the ground. All right, let's push-pull. I love this move. Because all the forward back moves, you're actually letting your upper body push the hands forward and pull them back. But this is the move that's called push-pull. But there's no push and there's no pull. That always implies work. It's more like float, float. Okay, so we're going to let the left leg get out at first. I'm mirroring again. Let your tailbone tuck. Let your body shift away from it. Place your heel. Place your hands. Yeah. And flow forward. And flow back. Yes. Right. Now in all the movements, of course, we always move softly and smoothly. But there's also at least one body part drawing circles in the air. This is no exception. It's just sort of a mushed circle. It's like an ellipse. One more. And when all your weight's on that full leg, just stand up on it. Yes. Feel your feet touching the ground for just a moment before letting all the weight pour down into your left leg now. And then extend your empty right leg and the hands come up. That was a smooth setup. Here we go. Play energetic patty cake with me. Pretend your palms are coming towards mine. Okay. And then let your palms come back to you. So in classic Tai Chi practices, I actually have certifications in a couple different styles. This would be an anger management technique or a pretty good offensive move, right? But in Tai Chi Cha, it's just an exchange of positive energy. Let's do one more. And flow back to rest. Feel your feet touching the ground. Let's do pulling in the energy. We're going to let the left leg flow out there. So let's sink and shift and place and place. Good. Hands are under the platter now. Good. So as we flow out, the hands will go out over the leg that's sticking out there, underneath the platter this time, and back towards the full leg. This move has a great visualization that goes along with it. Just imagine energy from the most distant star you can possibly fathom is flowing into all the little nooks and crannies of your body through each one of your fingertips. It's cool. One more. And rest. Let's do the other side. All right, let's do it mindfully. Sinking, shifting, placing, placing. And here we go. Out over the leg that's sticking out. Yeah, back of the other leg. Good. A minute ago I said it's cool, right? Didn't I say that? Actually, it's not. So this is one of the moves they say, Please don't do too many of these at night because you don't sleep. And I've had that experience by mistake. I did too much at night. It actually really energizes the body. It's a great one to do in the morning if you're feeling overtired. Let's do one more. And just float up and flow down. Yeah, really feel your feet touching the floor. Good. Let's do pulling taffy. All right, we'll do a couple sets one hand at a time. It's another one of the side to side moves. So the setup is very similar to what we've already done with carry the ball. Okay, just let your arms hang. You'll know which arm goes where because a shoulder is going to come out in front of the body. Okay, so let's do the setup. Let your tailbone tuck. That's the sinking. Shift all the way into this leg. Now let your upper body rotate a little bit that way too. And probably your left shoulder just came out in front, didn't it? Yeah, good. So just place your left arm like that. Don't even worry about the right arm yet. Now place your heel to the side. And as we flow, arm's going to open up. It's like I'm passing a tray of cookies over there. And now once this leg is full, just stand up on it. And then let's rest. And we'll do the going back again the same way, just as easily, in little pieces. In a minute, it'll flow together. You're going to feel how easy it is. Just let your hands hang. Let your tailbone tuck. Let all your weight drain into this leg. Let your upper body rotate. Place the hand across your belly. Yeah. Let your heel go out to the side. And we're going to flow. Would you like a cookie? And then when you got all your weight over here, just stand up. Yes. Good. All right. Now let's use the other hand. Just let your hands hang. Let your tailbone tuck. Let all your weight drift over here. Let your upper body rotate. Yeah, whichever shoulder's out in front, that's the arm that goes underneath. Let the other arm just sneak up on top. It's like you're making a sandwich out of your forearm. Now let your empty heel move out to the side. And here we go. Yeah, we're pulling energy between our palms. I'm going to turn around so we're all going the same way. Here we go. Let your tailbone tuck. Let your weight shift towards your left. Let your upper body rotate to the left. So now it's your right arm that's underneath, and the left arm just glides up on top. Let your heel flow out to the right, and we're going to shift to the right. And when all the weight's in the right leg, we're going to stand up on it. Let's do one more set like that with me zipping it. Just copy me. It's going to be more than good enough, Tai Chi Cha. Here we go. Now here goes my left arm. I will tell you that because you can't see it. The right arm flows up on top. Here we go. My right arm is underneath now because you can't see it. And just feel your body resting for a moment. Feel your feet touching the ground. Again, if that's all you get out of today, you're going to be healthier when you walked out than when you walked in. It's totally ethical for me to say that. I'm going to skip over anchor taffy in the interest of time, but we're going to do wrist circles taffy. So it's like the one we just did, only a little more flowy. Okay, so now we're really going to get in touch with a weight shift. Okay, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's all get in the rest position. Now I just want you to let your weight shift to the back of your feet, just to your heels, and you'll kind of naturally drop, and then just let your fingers drop. So now your palms are kind of facing your thighs. And now let all your weight flow to the front of your legs now and lengthen the knees, and that'll cause you to feel like you're rising. And the fingertips just come up and forward. We're going to do that a couple times so it starts to feel comfortable. Mostly, I just want you to feel the weight shifting from your heels to your toes. And I'm not even using calves or any kind of shin or muscle strength here. I'm just letting my knees be soft, and now I'm letting them be long. And the fingertips are making these tiny little circles down here, kind of near my hips. Yeah, it's called wrist circles, Tappy, not arm circles, right? Let's do this a couple more times so it feels really gentle. Good. All right, we're going to do 2 more together here. Now follow me here. When you drop down, I want your fingers to rise, but then go ahead and put the taffy together. I have my left arm underneath because you can't see it. And now we're going to pull to your left and just feel your body resting for a moment. Now this time we're just going to do 2 sets of wrist circles and then we're going to pull taffy. So here we go. 1, 2. Now you sink, but the fingers are going to rise, but then you're just going to roll towards your left and pull taffy to your right. Let's do that again. We're going to do 2 more sets like that. 2 whole sets of wrist circles. And here's sort of a half set, followed by pulling taffy. And again. And feel your body resting for a moment. Just feel it resting. Nice. So again, in the interest of time, we're going to do perpetual motion tappy today, but we're only going to do it 1 hand at a time. Okay? It's going to be easier to feel your feet. Fully 1 foot touching the floor and then have all the weight flow into the other and then back again. If we don't need to worry about what's going on with my hands, take my word for it. And then, but if you know the move, feel free to do it. Okay? All right, so just let your hands hang. But mostly I want you to feel both your feet touching the ground. Good. Now we're going to begin it just the way we begin all the side-to-side moves. You're going to let your tailbone tuck. You're going to let all the weight flow into your right leg. You're going to let your upper body rotate. Now whichever shoulder came out in front, that's the arm that's going to do this. Don't even worry about the other arm unless you want to. Let your empty heel flow out to the side. Good. Now we're going to do just like regular pulling taffy, only we're going to keep going continuously. So here we go. As we flow over to the side, the other arm is going to come out in front. And as we flow back, here comes your left arm again. Yes. See if you can let the turning of your upper body actually position the arms in front of your body for you. There's just less to do that way. For you, less to think about. We're going to do 1 more set here. And when we flow back towards your right, we're going to end. Yes. Awesome. Feel your body resting. So actually what we just did was a very classic Qigong move. I mean, our kidneys are right here. and they're probably the most important organ in your body. Even Western doctors think that's true. And so when you were a kid, did you ever do this? Yeah, that's what we just did. We just gave our kidneys a good massage, right? We just didn't use the other hand. All right, so let's do working the pulley. This is a great move. Almost everybody sort of groks how to do working the pulley because everybody, if you throw them into the water, even if they don't know how to swim, they kind of know how to dog paddle. So I'm going to turn around so we're all going the same direction. I think it might be less confusing that way. All right, so let's feel our body resting. This move is cool because it's going to combine a forward-backward shift, and there's also going to be a little rotation of the upper body going on here. So let the tailbone tuck and let all your weight flow down into your right leg, and then extend your left. And then you're going to place your left hand near the shoulder. Yeah, exactly where it was for push-pull. And then just turn the right hand over. So you got that tray of cookie thing going on there again. Okay. Now, as we flow forward, all the weight's going to, of course, flow out of this leg into this leg, but you're going to let your upper body turn a little bit. All right. So copy me. I'm going to let my belly button pretend it's an eyeball, and it's going to follow this elbow. It's going to cause all kinds of magical things. And then as I flow back again, my belly button's kind of following that retreating left elbow. And now it's kind of following my retreating right elbow. And even if your arms and legs are confused, as long as you move softly and smoothly and circularly and feel your weight shifting from foot to foot, you're still going to be doing fantastic Tai Chi Cha. And it's just going to get better over time. Let's do one more. And when all the weight gets back to your back leg, just stand up on it and sink down to rest. Feel your feet touching the floor. Then let all your weight drop down into your left leg and extend your right. Put your right hand up near your shoulder. Turn your left over like you got a tray of cookies on there again. All right, so here we go. We're flowing forward. But let the belly button follow that retreating elbow. And that will cause your upper body to rotate just fine with no effort. It's kind of like swimming through really heavy air, right? We're going to do one more. And when all the weight gets back to the back, we're going to stand up on that leg. Just feel the body resting for a moment. Feel your feet touching the floor. Okay. I don't know if we'll have time to get through all of them. I think we'll probably get through passing clouds. Let's just see. So light at the top of the head, light at the temple. That's a really cool, very simple move. The same exact weight shift that we used during wrist circles tappy. So I want you to really notice exactly how I'm going to turn sideways. Exactly how your feet are touching the floor right now. Okay? The whole of your weight in both of your feet touch the floor. Just feel that. And we're just going to scoop up a little energy and we're going to bring it up to the top of the head. It's kind of like you're praying, only you've got your hands on top of your head. Now let your weight shift to the back of your feet, just like you did in wrist circles, Kathy. And shift to the front of your feet and just lengthen the knees. And back. And front. One more time. Good. Now with both your feet touching the ground, I want you to mix forward. You're going to like pull your own energy up and out of the top of your head. And if this hurts for any reason, just bring your hands down. Put them wherever they feel good. And now you're going to hold for about 6 seconds, about the same length of time you mixed. And now we're going to shift to the back, shift to the front, back, front. Good. This time there's going to be a big circle. Let your hands circle all the way around and sort of pull the energy up and blend it into the center of your body. Yeah. Feel your body resting now. Feel your feet touching the floor. And let's do light at the temple. It's the second half of the same move. Hands up to the temples. Here's that backward slight shift, that slight forward shift. The hands are like windshield wipers. They're just sort of spreading. Yeah. Now we're going to mix forward. And now we're going to hold. Feel your body resting. Notice the silence between your hands. Good. Here we go. Shifting, shifting. It doesn't have to be a big shift. Here's the circle. Fold the energy back into you. Nice. Feel your feet touching the floor. Good. Let's do joyous breath. So same up and down shift, okay? Only we're going to have one foot a little farther away from the other, just like we did in rocking motion. So let your weight shift a little bit this way so you can let this leg flow out very effortlessly. And now let your toes point forward. Good. We're going to use a special breath in the back of the throat. If you're into yoga, you would probably hear this referred to as ujjayi breath or ocean breath. It's kind of like what you hear when you hold a shell up to your ear, right? So how we make that noise is it's like we do this, but with the lips closed. You hear it more in your head than I'm going to hear it coming out of you. Okay? And we're going to do that as we sink down and push the air out of the body. So here we go. And now we're just going to shift up to the front of the feet and let the palms rise up to the shoulders. Let them turn over, and we're going to make that same breath as we push down sort of in 4 sections. Good. I'm going to turn a little sideways so you can see. Not a big shift, but it's definitely a weight shift to the front of the feet. Good. Again. And then we're going to let all the weight flow back to your right leg. Basically, just going to flow back to where we started from. Let's feel the feet touching the ground right now. Yeah, knees soft. If you can, place your heels a little closer together than your toes. Good. Awesome. All right, let's do passing clouds. So I'm going to mirror you. It's exactly like carry the ball to the side, which we did sort of towards the front of the practice, only the hands are going to move, instead of together, they're going to move independently. So if you've ever seen The Karate Kid, it's like wax on, wax off, actually. Very similar to that. Only no martial application. We're not actually teaching you to fight here. We're tricking you into doing mindfulness. So let's let the tailbone tuck. Do it in pieces with me here. I'm going to break it down and then put it back together. Then let all your weight flow into this leg. And let your upper body turn that way too. Yeah. So you're going to notice that your left shoulder went back. And then just raise the left hand. There you go, like you're high-fiving that door over there. Let your empty heel slide out to the side, the same way it does with all the side-to-side moves. And just let this hand hang. We're going to give it something to do later. So as we glide that direction, it's going to pull this hand. Let it pull this hand. And as we glide back, it's going to pull the hand back. We're just going to do a couple rotations with one hand first. Because you already know how to do this move, it's just you've never done it one hand at a time, right? Awesome. This looks good. It's like you're swishing your fingers through something at the bottom here, like chocolate, and then you can kind of lick them on the way back if you like, chocolate syrup. Let's do one more with your left hand. All right, now we're going to let your left hand rest down here, but we're going to go back towards your right, and that's going to cause the right hand to rise. So let's do the same circles with just one hand, with the right hand now. Here we go. Easy, yeah. Just swish the fingers through the chocolate syrup at the bottom and lick them on the way back. Yeah, let's do another one like this. That's easy metaphor, right? All right, we're going to let the right hand rest. Just let it rest. We're going back the way we started. We're going to blend it all together. If you get confused, you have two choices. You can be upset about being confused, and it probably won't help. Or you can get relaxed, and it will probably help a lot. But even if it doesn't help, you'll still have a good time. Okay, so here we go. As we glide to your right, it pulls the left hand along. As you glide back to your left, it pulls the right hand in from the bottom. Yes, yes, yes. And as I'm moving to the right, the left hand is flowing across the bottom. And now the right hand is flowing across the bottom. I tend to pay closer attention to the bottom hand because the other hand will figure out where to go by itself. Yeah, nice. Great, great. The most important thing is that we move softly and smoothly and circularly. And that's more than good enough, Tai Chi. And if you're feeling your weight shifting from foot to foot, bonus, you're practicing mindfulness too. Yay! Let's do one more set. And as we flow back towards your left, we're going to wait till all the weight's in that leg and just stand up on it. Nice, soft, 10-point landing. Good job. Okay, we're not going to go any further today because we're going to run out of time and my battery is going really, really low. So let's just feel our feet touching the ground one more time. We're right back in the same exact position we started in, right? Good. Let your tailbone be tucked just enough that your knees are slightly soft and you are really feeling your weight spread completely out on either side. If you want to get into the cosmic consciousness pose, you can, but I think we're going to go right into mindfulness here. If you like, also, you can imagine you're resting your palms on a nice, firm, flat surface like your legs. If you were sitting down, that's where they'd be. And just go inside with your mind's eye for one more little moment. I want you to find a spot to pay attention to, somewhere between your belly button and the floor. The spot you'd normally never notice, except I'm asking you to. And I'm going to call the bell, and your whole job until I call you back is just to see anything you happen to see with your mind's eye and try not to judge yourself if your mind wanders. So here we go. Bring your attention back to the room. So now here is the $1,000,000 question. after having done some mindfulness at the end as well as the beginning? I'm hoping you'll say yes. Did you notice you're more relaxed now than you were when you got here? Bingo! Ninja mindfulness works every time. So, if you want to learn more about me, I'm Jessica Lewis, and the name of my company is Sculpt Your Life. Just Google me. Spell it any way you like. In Delaware, there's lots of ways to spell Lewis. The domain address, if you want to know what it is www.sculpt, S-C-U-L-P-T, but I did sort of play with the middle of the part of the word there, URLIFE.com, because the domain I wanted when I went to buy it 20 years ago was already taken. So, and we're here pretty much every other week at the Cancer Support Community. Actually, the technical calendar is every second and fourth Wednesdays at noon. So I hope you tune back in, and I hope you have a great couple weeks until I see you again. And these folks were fantastic. It was a great day. Take care. Thank you.